Hello everyone, we are here doing our text reading session for today. We have come to the end of chapter 10. We are now doing A Course in Miracles chapter 11, God or the Ego. And this is the introduction. Either God or the ego is insane. If you will examine the evidence on both sides fairly, you will realize this must be true. Neither God nor the ego proposes a partial thought system. Each is internally consistent, but they are diametrically opposed in all respects, so that partial allegiance is impossible. Remember too that their results are as different as their foundations, and their fundamentally irreconcilable natures cannot be reconciled by vacillations between them. Nothing alive is fatherless, for life is creation. Therefore, your decision is always an answer to the question, who is my father? And you will be faithful to the father you choose. Yet what would you say to someone who believed this question really involves conflict? If you made the ego, how can the ego have made you? The authority problem is still the only source of conflict, because the ego was made out of the wish of God's Son to father him. The ego then is nothing more than a delusional system in which you made your own father. Make no mistake about this. It sounds insane when it is stated with perfect honesty. But the ego never looks on what it does with perfect honesty. Yet that is the insane premise which is carefully hidden in the dark cornerstone of its thought system. And either the ego which you made is your father, or the whole thought system will not stand. You make by projection, but God creates by extension. The cornerstone of God's creation is you, for his thought system is light. Remember the rays that are there unseen? The more you approach the center of his thought system, the clearer the light becomes. The closer you come to the foundation of the ego's thought system, the darker and more obscure becomes the way. Yet even the little spark in your mind is enough to lighten it. Bring this light fearlessly with you and bravely hold it up to the foundation of the ego's thought system. Be willing to judge it with perfect honesty. Open the dark cornerstone of terror on which it rests and bring it out into the light. There you will see that it rested on meaninglessness and that everything of which you have been afraid was based on nothing. My brother, you are part of God and part of me. When you have at last looked at the ego's foundation without shrinking, you will also have looked upon ours. I come to you from our Father and to offer you everything again. Do not refuse it in order to keep a dark cornerstone hidden, for its protection will not save you. I give you the lamp, and I will go with you. You will not take this journey alone. I will lead you to your true Father, who hath need of you, as I have. Will you not answer the call of love with joy? Wow, beautiful. Okay, that is the introduction to chapter 11. God or the ego. Let's see what Jesus has to say to us today. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus. These words are the foundation of life, your reality, the world in which you find yourself, the body that you believe in so much. These are the true words of the defining principles upon which your life is based. Is your life based in the body and what you can get here, and fear, death, sickness? These are the truths of living in a physical form in this three-dimensional world. You call it reality, but it is in fact a delusional thought system. The reason it feels so real is because you want it. You want the body. You want the idols that you're chasing. You want the money, the sex, the drugs, the rock and roll, the sickness, the death. You want it. That is what the ego is. It is an aspect of consciousness that you have manufactured And the results of that manufacturing process are the experience that you are having now. But you have not been sent into earth by yourself. We have used this image before. We want to remind you of it again. The idea of a mothership circling around the planet. And you have gone down to earth in a little exploratory vehicle by yourself. You have wanted to go on this grand adventure, but the mothership captain has said to you, we are not going to let you go down there by yourself. We have constant contact with you through your radio system. So make sure that you're always in contact with us, and we can let you know from above, from this bird's eye view, how to avoid the storms, the trials and tribulations. The mothership has an amazing X-ray radio service, all of those things that can tell you going down in the pod what is going on, what's coming, what's heading your way that you can't see because you are now down on the ground. You are low down in the atmosphere and you cannot see the hurricane coming. You cannot see the windstorm coming. You cannot feel the revolution brewing. But the mothership can. It has great analytical abilities, and you have constant contact with the mothership as long as you do not get distracted by the adventure down on the earth plane. And this is what has happened. You have left the mothership in your exploratory vehicle, this little single pod that has a communication device connected to the mothership. And you have gone down onto the earth's surface in your little pod all by yourself with connection to the mothership. But you have wandered away from the pod. You have wandered away from the communication device. And you have become enamored of the adventures and the beauty and the devastation on this planet. This course is leading you back to the pod where you have connection to the mothership. We are not saying that you have done anything wrong. All we are saying is that the shiny bells and whistles of this plane have lured you like a siren's call away from the messages from the mothership. You have a constant communication device, and it is working every single minute of every single day. But you have forgotten how to interpret it. The communication device is your emotional guidance system. When you feel bad, you are walking away from guidance from the mothership. And when you feel good, when you are enjoying your experience, then you are closer to the communication device from the mothership. How does this work? Well, the mothership, God, Father, all that is functioning at the frequency of love. So the more you love, the more you do things you love, the more you dive into the things that you love, the happier you are going to be. And we are not speaking about pleasure here. Pleasure uses the body's senses to distract from how you're feeling. Pleasure is not happiness. Happiness is not dependent on a substance or an activity. Happiness is a frequency, a way of looking at the world, a way of being in the world that brings you joy all the time. And most of you are not there. Most of you are not living in joy all the time. But we want you to understand this fundamental choice that you make. You must listen to your guidance system and understand that God is not insane. God does not hate you. God loves you. And a being, a consciousness, a benevolent force that loves you will give you good feedback. It will give you happy feedback. The ego is not made of love. It is made from separation. It is made by distance from love. It's a lack of love. And so it will not feel good. So if you have a thought, for example, I am unlovable, that is coming from the ego. Spirit would never say that to you. And when you have a thought, I am unlovable, and you believe that thought, you will feel bad. And that means you have stepped away from the messages of the mothership. When you listen to that thought and say, this cannot be coming from spirit, this must be coming from my ego, I am not lovable, this is a lie, I'm not going to believe this thought, and you turn it around and you say, I am lovable, even though you may not believe it in this moment. What you have done in that moment is you have chosen spirit over ego. And it is as simple as that. Your thoughts are generated by beliefs. Your beliefs are input by conditioning. But you also have a messaging system coming from the mothership, which is always loving, always guiding you towards the good, always saying, go over there, that's going to be fun for you. So today, this is what we want you to do. We want you to be very discriminating about the thoughts you believe. You can't stop your beliefs generating thoughts, but you can stop acting as if those negative thoughts are true, and by that action, strengthen that belief. When you begin to choose love, to choose spirit, to dismiss those negative conditioned beliefs and ideas, they will eventually wither and die because you are not feeding them. The only reason they are there is because you are feeding them. You have allowed the conditioning, the lies into your mind. You have believed the world, in fact. You are making the wrong choice. How do you know? You don't feel very good. Some of you have beautiful, loving hearts, and you are watching war, and you are despairing of this world. And we ask you, time and time again, do not look at war. Do not strengthen war. Even in your hatred of war, you are strengthening it by looking at those images, allowing those images into your mind. This war, this current war that's going on, is being used to manipulate your energies. And we want you to turn it off. We want you to understand that your mind's creative power, your strong negative emotion, is not doing the good that you think it is. It is telling you that you are looking at the wrong thing and interpreting it incorrectly. I am that one that you know as Jesus, and I will speak to you again soon. Thank you for joining me today. I'll see you again soon. Bye.